Welcome. On today's episode of Passion and Purpose with Pamela, we are thrilled to have Natasha Lockey as our guest. Natasha is a confidence coach with expertise from a diverse, adventurous background. She has been a trailblazer in mountain biking coaching for over 15 years. She also successfully branched into other entrepreneurial endeavors, such as running a shuttle service and an art store. Her experience in mountain biking have been foundational in her coaching career, teaching her valuable lessons in resilience, risk-taking, and personal growth. Natasha's experience in mountain biking goes beyond navigating trails. It's a powerful analogy for overcoming life's challenges and celebrating its victories. This journey has shaped her into the coach who inspires women to confidently pursue their goals while on a mountain bike, starting new businesses or chasing personal dreams. Her profoundly coaching methodology draws from her strategies and achievements to assist others in various aspects of their lives. As a coach, Natasha focuses on helping women define and realize their future goals, breaking them down into manageable and actionable steps. She believes in the transformative power of feeling good in your body and having the right mindset. She advocates for natural supplements as essential tools for maintaining physical and mental health, particularly as women approach their most empowering years. In this podcast, Natasha will discuss supplements' crucial role in our journey toward becoming stronger and more confident. Her unique combination of experiences from overcoming challenges on rugged bike trails to navigating the ups and downs of entrepreneurship provides her with rich knowledge and insights. Get ready to be inspired by Natasha's story and her practical, action-oriented approach to building confidence and achieving dreams. Welcome, Natasha. We are so pleased to have you here.
Thank you so much, Pamela. I feel honored with that bio. So thank you so much for introducing me so beautifully. It's amazing to be here with your audience.
You are so amazing. We just have to learn so much about you. You have so much. We have so much in this episode to unpack because you come with a dearth of knowledge and experiences. And I just want to tell people, you have some of the most incredible values and how you believe and what you believe in and how you help women. You're, somebody who just loves to be in nature. I want you to tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where are you originally from and where do you live now?
Yeah, so I'm originally from New Zealand. We moved to Canada, British Columbia, when I was 25, and we've managed ski lodges, and then whilst running different businesses, and all along my inspiration has really been about creating something to inspire and motivate women to live their best lives. And for me, that's getting outside, being healthy, and just really doing the things that we love to do. And recently, the last few years, we've spent our winters in Baja, Mexico, down on the Baja California surf. So we are in Canada right now, but we are getting ready to fire up the bus and drive down to Mexico come the new year.
Really? Oh my goodness, this is exciting. We just need to delve more because you said where you were born. Has any of that fostered how you do things, how you see the world? I just want to dig into that just a little bit, if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. And the best way to explain it, I think, is that one day I was out teaching mountain biking and one of the girls said something. She's like, "Oh, well, you're just crazy." And I was like, "I'm not crazy. Like I'm normal. Like this is just normal as far as I'm concerned." And then we went for a trip home to New Zealand, and I kind of looked around and I looked at New Zealanders and how, especially like females in New Zealand are viewed. Like there isn't this mindset of you're a girl, so it's okay that you don't do that. It's more like, you're a girl, that's not an excuse. Get out into the field and, you know, throw a gumboot, like whatever it is. And it really brought home to me the fact that growing up in a place like New Zealand, you know, it really, we're encouraged to get out and do things. We're encouraged to keep up with the boys. We're encouraged to just get out and enjoy, because there's so much nature and there's not much going on. Like, definitely as I grew up, you know, the houses got bigger, but to start with, going to the beach for a beach holiday was like camping with a little building that was a little outhouse type thing. And, you know, we really were like, we are very outdoor people, and we're very active. And as I say, it's kind of like what people think of as very risk-taking and on the edge in North America is thought to be fairly mild in New Zealand. So definitely growing up in that environment. My parents they sailed from Canada to New Zealand back in the early 70s. They started a yacht charter business, and I could tell 100 different stories of all the things that we did as kids. And so definitely having that as a, you know, as my parents and the environment I grew up in, there's no, I can't do that. It's very much a, how can I do that? That's what I want to do. And from a very early age, I came to the conclusion that whatever I was going to do in life, I was going to do with people that were having fun. So whatever my career was going to be, I wanted people to come to me in the mindset of, I'm already having fun, and then I was enhancing the fun, as opposed to being in a space where I'm trying to make people happy that are already unhappy, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And I want to ask one question, but I want to ask, you know, I want to ask you to at least tell us one story. And then I want you, if you, and I'll come back around and ask you about how do you help people with their mindset. So tell us one story, because this is like really exciting. I'm like, wow.
I'm like, a story, where do I even start? Okay, so I will.
Anything you want to share, anything that you think will help somebody to understand, because you said some powerful things about women are keeping up, you know, we're not ones to like sit back, and our mindset is different in North America, like, oh, we got to get out there. But it is basically, you have said, women aren't seen as this delicate flower that is hidden behind a wall somewhere, if that's what I'm understanding. So if you could tell a story that helps women even see more, help them visualize, you know, culture and the differences and why you do what you do.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about when I was early 20s, before we left New Zealand. I was part of a program, and one of the things that we needed to do was create an event for our community. And so I decided that one of my communities was women surfers, and I thought to myself, what can I do? And I decided that I was going to take 40 women surfing for the weekend.
Oh.
And that was, you know, one of the things I've learned along the way in life is that we come up with big dreams, and then the universe generally gives us what we actually need, not necessarily what we strive for. So I was like, 40 people, I got this. And I went out and I said to all my guy friends, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. You guys want to come? And they all looked at me and they were like, sure. Okay, Tash, whatever. Like, as if you're going to find 40 women to take surfing. And I had this great dream. We were going to rent a bus and drive up to Northland, and we were going to fully catered, all of the things, accommodation, all of the stuff. So I started putting it together, and I had there was a surf line reporting. You could go onto the website. This is, you know, well before, you know, we were on dial-up. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
And they, you know, they advertised this thing for me, and I got 25 women that signed up. And, you know, I was like, oh, I didn't make 40, but 25 is pretty good. And 25 was plenty. We actually had too many people for the bus that we rented. So we had to, you know, do a few things. And as it came together, it was so funny because, you know, slowly the boys are like, can I come? I'm like, yeah, totally. I need a driver for the surfboards. I need cooks for the kitchen. And I gave them all jobs. I need a driver for the bus. And so we had this event where 25 women came together, and it was one of these amazing moments where And the reason I wanted to do it is because a lot of times what happens in these communities, and I would see it, I would go surfing and I was like the girl that was with my 10 guy friends. And then I would be out in the surf and I would see the other girl who was out there with her, 10 guy friends. And we all kind of were like the token girls that were surfing, and we'd, tagged on with our brothers or our boyfriends or whatever it happened to be. And I used to try and paddle over and be like, hey, and I'd kind of get this like super offhanded, like they didn't really want to talk to me because we're females and we're kind of, you know, protective of our pack, if you know what I mean, right?
Yes.
Like there's
Yes.
this DNA that when we don't know each other, we're not necessarily friendly to each other, but then at the same time, you get a group of girls together that are like-minded, and you put them in the room, and within half an hour, they're going to know that each other's life stories, and they're going to be the best of friends. And that was exactly what I wanted to create, and that was exactly what happened. And I had these 25 women all descend on my house in the morning, and while we were getting all their surfboards and everything packed up and ready to go, like these girls bonded like nothing I had ever seen before, and it was exactly what I had dreamed of. And we put them in a bus, and by the time we had traveled a couple of hours north to the surf beach, like these girls were lifelong friends. And we took them surfing, and we had we were hand and foot looked after by the boys. They had their meals delivered to them, they were delivered to the beach, and it was so much fun to see something that I had like just envisioned in my mind. This is what I'm gonna do. It happened. And every single reason for me creating it was exactly the experience that everybody had. And as I say, it was like these girls just came together, and had they met each other in a different environment, there would have been that friction. But as soon as that wall was broken down, they just came together, and it all just blended so absolutely beautiful. And as I say, the guys were pretty stoked they got to come along. I had a photographer. It was absolutely incredible. So yeah, that there's one story for you.
That is really incredible. And to your point, you're exactly correct. Women, we just kind of stay, like you said, in our pack, and we don't talk to one another, but you gave them something that they could do and let the walls down. And so I want to ask you, I know I'm going to ask a lot of questions. So somebody's watching and they say, well, I don't surf, I don't ride bikes, I'm a baby boomer or whatever, or I don't do that kind of stuff. What would you say to them? How do you garner their mindset? How do you garner trying to tell them what they possibly can do? I just have so many questions. I'm so excited. Lord, just go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So out of this whole experience, what I really wanted to create was a community for women to see that in every step, everything that we do, we are an inspiration to others. So what happens is that we think we need to do something out of the box in order to inspire other people. But the fact is that, if you do something, you're inspiring somebody else who hasn't done that thing yet. So if we go back to the sports, I wanted to create an extreme sports community for women. And to me, that meant that you were doing something that felt extreme to you. Now, at the same time, there were the X Games, and all of those things were starting to filter through our media. So what people thought of as extreme was on a scale that I was not even thinking of. To me, I was thinking of the person who decides to go snowboarding for the first time ever, and they're a complete beginner, and they've never, or go skiing, or go out and go to the gym and do a workout. Like moving outside of your comfort zone feels extreme. Maybe you're going to ride a bike. If you were listening to my podcast, and my girlfriend Jenny, she recently started cycling as an adult. Now here I am, I'm a mountain bike coach. I live in the mountains of British Columbia, and she's in North Carolina, and she's riding on the flattest paths, sealed as they can be. There's not a rock or a root. And to her, like just getting on her bicycle and learning to ride a bike in the parking lot so that she can ride on a paved trail around a lake is extreme to her, right? So it doesn't matter what level of getting active, or even, starting a business, like that's extreme. It doesn't really matter. It's more about like moving outside of your box and knowing that if you move outside of your box and someone sees that, they're like, oh, I can do that too. And then celebrating that and understanding that everything you do is an inspiration to somebody else. Like quitting smoking, starting a diet plan, getting on a dating app, anything that moves you outside of your comfort zone and has you advocating for your dream and what you want. That's what we're up to here. Like we all have different dreams, we all have different lives, we all see things differently, and being extreme is literally taking a first step.
Love that. I love that so much because I have a friend who is in the Netherlands right now. She is 70 years old and she is taking bike lessons, and she probably rode a bike maybe once or twice, and she'll show me where she's riding, and she's doing something out of her comfort zone. And you speak to that. It's like just taking baby steps, you don't have to do it all. And the example I can give you is that I always wanted to learn how to ride a motorcycle. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I was married before, and I said to my ex-husband, I want to learn. And he tells me, well, Pamela, you got to learn how to do this and do that. And I was like, I'm not stuck on stupid. I want to do it. But I waited until I got divorced. And I decided to go where they actually provided the motorcycles, a 250cc. I didn't know anything about CC or BC, right? So I was in a class full of nothing but men. And the men were in the class strictly to get a base sticker. They had to do the safety program. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to say, what is this old woman doing in here? And I was so concerned what they were going to say. Well, the instructor was smart enough to put me in the middle of the group and not at the beginning. So I was able to watch what they were doing. They had these big bikes, and I just had this, you might say, a little go-kart or something. But they made me feel included. They did not like, you don't know what you're doing. That was my stuff. That was my stuff inside. And when I passed those tests and did everything that I was supposed to do on the trail and not put your foot down, I flew off down the road and I was like, yes, I actually did this. I was so excited. Now, once I got my license, I really didn't know about buying a motorcycle, but I just bought a pretty one, and it was really big. It was a 950cc, and I had to figure out how to navigate it. But what you said about what you do can change people's lives. So I used to ride my motorcycle to school to teach, when I was teaching at university, and then I would ride it to church and the beach. Those are the only places I rode it. So when I rode it to church, the men were like, oh, Holly's mom rides a motorcycle. Guess what that happened? They went and got lessons because I was a woman, and they went and got lessons to ride a motorcycle. And then the women did too. And they started a motorcycle club, which is so interesting. But it was something that I wanted to do. So I wanted to give that example. Thank you for bringing that up. It's like stuff that just gets out of your head and you really don't give much thought to it. That is awesome, Natasha.
Yeah, the ripple effect is crazy. And as you were talking, I was thinking, those men probably went home and told their moms about it and were like, hey, mom, you should come ride a motorbike. Like there was this amazing lady in our group and she was, so inspiring. We couldn't believe, it's like we think that we're going to be judged, but in fact, their minds were blown and they could be nothing but supportive because they probably couldn't believe that you were there doing that. And just that's amazing how many lives that one thing that was, as you say, it was for you, but yet you really inspired so much possibility. And I just have to touch on the men that then had to go and learn how to ride motorbikes as well, because you were doing it. When I was a snowboard guide, and I'd go out and I'd lead groups in the backcountry, and I used to be very mindful of the times that I would see something, I'd be like, oh, that's a safe thing for me to go and do, that if these guys follow me, they're not going to hurt themselves, and I would go and I would launch myself off a log or something, and then I would just stand there and watch all of the boys have to try it because the girl snowboard guy did it. And then there were other times when I was like, oh, I want to drop that, but there's a few of them that if they try that, I might have to do my first aid, and I don't want to do that. But just really, I really like to play with that mindset. What can you
That
get the
is,
guys
it
to
is
do?
so true. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. I want to ask you questions about your podcast before we even get into the supplements. Could you just tell us a little bit about Writing in the Weeds, what your podcast is? And ladies and gentlemen, because gentlemen do watch this, we will put it in the notes so that you can look at that. But tell us a little bit about that, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking. So my friend Jenny and I, we started our podcast last year. And the whole idea behind Writing in the Weeds is that, sometimes we get stuck riding in the weeds. Like life can be bumpy. And our whole concept is that, I'm a mountain bike coach, business owner. Jenny she is an animal communicator, and she works with horses, and she's also got her own business. And we really found that we'd have these conversations, and a lot of the time what we were talking about really came together in the energetics of the things that we had learned in our lives and what we were doing and how we helped ourselves and the people that we worked with. You get stuck in the weeds, and how can you move yourself out of the weeds again? So, things happen and we end up in these places, and just really like through, getting motivated again, health challenges, body image, riding bicycles, dealing with our animals, confidence, just pretty much any topic you can think about. We delve into, and we just bring our experience of our lives and what we've done, what we've seen in other people, and how, as I say, I'll say it again, how we can, move ourselves out of those stuck places and get ourselves moving again. Because, it's whether you're riding a mountain bike or, riding a horse, or, dealing with any of life situations, literally sometimes when you're on your bike, you get stuck riding in the weeds. And the idea is that you've got to, look to where you want to go, look to your exit, and get yourself back out again. And as I say, we just have conversations about what's happening in our lives and where we've gotten stuck, and then just the strategies and the tools that we use to move through those. And we have a lot of fun.
You do, because there is one episode when you're talking about confidence. And if you could just expound on that just a little bit, tell us, how do I get, excuse me, how do I get confidence? I mean, you broke it down how to do it, but I need you to break it down for everyone here. How do you get that? I mean, it was amazing. So if you could share.
Thank you. Yeah, well, confidence, very much like motivation, is something that we talk about as if it's just a magic thing that happens for us. And at the end of the day, we're not born with confidence. It's something that we build. And really lately I've been thinking about how we need to self-advocate for ourselves. And when we self-advocate for our dreams, and when we decide what it is we want to do, we can take the small action steps that we need to do in order to show ourselves that this is possible. So if you're riding a bike, you're not going to have people come to me and they want me to teach them a variety of different things. And at the end of the day, what they need to really see is that if they can show themselves that they can be balanced on the bicycle, then they're going to build the confidence. And I have like the 4 steps I go through to find your balance. And we work on our movements, and then we work on our rotation, and there's various different things that we go through that allow that person to go from their fear into the next stage of their development. And so it's just taking those action steps that you need to build that self-trust so that you can go to the next level, which then allows you to go to the next level and go to the next level. And bit by bit, you start to build that confidence. You start to allow yourself to believe that it's possible. And then you build it and you build it, and you fall over and you get back up and you start again, and you just keep building that. And as I say, every time you go through those steps, we get a little bit more self-trust. And then where we lose confidence a lot of the times is when we have a dream and we don't self-advocate for the dream. And we know that we need to make these decisions to make it happen, and we kind of do the opposite. And that's where we start to lose confidence. So again, being the person that you want to be and stepping into what would it look like if I was confident? And then taking those steps to actually make that happen is the key, I believe.
Well, when you said we do the opposite, could you give an example of that? What is the opposite?
Yeah, I will give an example from my current life experience. So there's so many examples, but one of my businesses is a shuttle business, and for the last sort of 3 or 4 years, I've been really wanting to move out of that and get more focused on running retreats in Baja, Mexico, and really get into working with women, not just on bikes, but on that we have physical experiences that allow us to really build our confidence and build our mindset so that we can move through our mental experiences, which strangely enough seem to be more challenging a lot of the time. And I haven't been doing that. And, the universe basically stepped in and said, okay, you're not going to quit this contract. You're not going to move away from this. We're going to do it for you. And so instead of being in a space of advocating for myself and being in charge of this decision, I ended up having somebody else in charge of the experience that I was having. And that really, like, through my confidence, it took away a lot of self-trust. And I've been working very hard on building that back up and being like, you know what? No, this was my decision. This is what I wanted, and this is what I'm going to do next. So when we let the outside forces dictate the thing that we know we want, because the universe generally, or whatever you want to, believe in, generally, if you say you want something, the energies start to work towards it. And then if you don't actually make that happen, my friend talks about it in terms of money. It's like, if you say, I want $10,000, but you don't believe you can have $10,000, maybe your husband goes out and gets a $10,000 raise and you get the money, but it comes through a different avenue versus coming through you. So we generally get what we want, good or bad. And it's just the way that it actually moves through is how
I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And people don't really think about what they're saying with their mouth. They manifest their life. I can't do it. Yes, you can. What do you want? And you articulated that so well, because many times we say the opposite of what we say we want, even though we want this, we speak something else. So that was really, really good. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I want to, because we can sit here and talk all day, because I just love the things that you're saying, because anybody can apply this to their life. Mindset, all the things that we say that we want, everything that you have discussed is in a way that everybody can receive it, no matter what they're doing, whether they're on their job or they're in a relationship. It can be applied. And a lot of times people will think, well, it's just good for that. No, actually, it's good for everything, right across, straight across the board. And that's what you said. And I love that. I want to get into the weeds of nutritional supplements, because you do sell them. And I really would like you to go in depth just a little bit about what they are. What do we need when we're young versus in our power years as we get over 50, 60 and moving into 70? What are some of the things we need? Because young people need things too, as much as older people. So you have the floor. Just go with it. If I have some questions, I'll interject, but I doubt I will.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, the products that I sell it's a company called Trinont, and the flagship product that they have is collagen. And so they started out with this liquid collagen product. And so just talking about kind of what we need as we go through, we'll just use collagen as a good one to start with. So if you don't know what collagen is like the building blocks of our body. It's basically, it's what's in our hair, it's our skin, it's our nails, it's our joints, it's everything. It's what's our gut is actually made up 75% of collagen. And as I've gone down through this journey, I've really realized like so many of these issues that we have as we age are because once we hit 25, our our production starts to reduce. Once we hit 35, this is men and women, we stop making collagen. So unless your diet is very full of chicken skin, fish skin, or you're doing a daily bone broth, you are not getting any collagen into your body. So things start to sag, we get wrinkly, we have leaky gut issues, and our joints start to get creaky and achy. And if you are an active human being and you've beaten your body up like I have, you start to really, the older you get, the more you feel all of your aches and your pains. So if you can take a good collagen supplement, we're able to start to reverse some of those issues. And it is something that once you start taking it, we need it. It's the daily building block for our bodies. So it's not like you take it and you refill the tank. It's something that we really need to take daily. I do find like if I run out and I can go for a couple of weeks and I start to notice certain things don't change quickly and other things do. Certain injuries that I have will start to show up. Whereas like my left knee that has arthritis, it doesn't really, like the arthritis has a lot of it. I'm not going to say it's healed it, but there's enough lubrication in there that I don't really notice. If I stop taking it for a long period of time, it will slowly start to get a little bit more creaky. But my right leg, which has some sort of tendon and ligament stuff that goes on, and I'm missing a ligament in my knee there, I actually start to notice that a little bit faster than my arthritic knee. I love talking about this because I start to sound like a really good advertisement for mountain biking and being active. But they say you're supposed to hit the finishing line a little bit broken and battered, or you didn't do it right. So
Oh.
I stand by that. And yeah, and then the other thing with collagen is, there's a lot of powdered collagens out there, and yes, they definitely work. The thing is that our body can only absorb about 30% of a powdered collagen supplement. And the reason why liquid collagen has become so big on the market is because depending on the supplement, the one that I sell, they say that you can absorb like 90% of it. And then there's a bunch of they have protein in there. So you get an extra 10 grams of protein, which, as we all know, is something that we need to figure out how to get more protein in our diet. So just putting that in there. And then they have biotin, which ups the skin and the nails, and they help with the hair. And then there's some other things in there that really help with sleep. So they say to take it at night, it'll help you sleep. And I have a lot of people that have started taking it and they're like, wow, my sleep has just improved so much. And as we know, sleep gets harder as we get older. So anything we can do to sort of calm the body down will definitely help. So, I mean, you can take it in your smoothie in the morning, but you get more benefits if you take it at night before you go to bed and just allow the body to absorb it overnight. And for me, that's sort of where I got started. I started taking the collagen, and over the last couple of years, I've gone from not being able to hike to actually struggling quite a bit when I was teaching biking because my knee would cause me so much pain. When I was 30, I was told to really cut back on all the activities I didn't need to do. And I'd be out snowboard guiding, and the amount of times that I was, biting my tongue to really like handle the pain at the end of the day. I mean, fortunately, skiing powder can overcome most pain, but I've been in, for a very active person, there's been a lot of pain going on. And in the last few years, I've been absolutely astounded by, I've started hiking again. I've been able to run without pain, and I don't spend, the next 3 days sitting on the couch with this big swollen knee. So the collagen is blowing my mind. And as I say, we start losing it when we're 25. We stop altogether when we're 35. So really, it is something that it'll help your skin. If you've got acne problems, it will help clear that up. Like really, it's amazing for everything. One of my friends, she started taking it in when she had her baby at 40. She lost her eyebrows, and she keeps telling everyone, she's like, my eyebrows have grown back. It's the most incredible thing in the world. And I was taking a collagen supplement since COVID. I started taking one. It was a liquid collagen, and then I moved to the Nutritional Glow. And 2 weeks later, I looked in the mirror and I was like, there is no way that this much difference happened in 2 weeks. Like, I was absolutely astounded at how quickly I noticed, and I was even taking a good product before that. So there's my spiel on collagen. I highly recommend. There's a million YouTube videos about collagen and just the benefits of it and what it's doing for people. And I am definitely an advocate for it, because I've taken it and it literally has changed my life. And then, like, Trinot has a host of other things. Their newest product that they just brought out is called Transform. And Transform is an enzyme that transforms sugar into fiber. So what it's doing is it's stabilizing people's blood sugar levels. So you take it an hour to 20 minutes before you eat, and it helps you, instead of, you going through that massive spike when you eat and then dropping back down again. And the problem with that is, I mean, there's lots of things that go on, but the biggest thing is the reason that one of the big things about intermittent fasting is what it does is it shortens the time that your body is having to manage these massive spikes. So if you're only eating between, like, let's say you start at 12 and you finish at 6, you're only doing a 6-hour window, which really reduces the amount of strain on your body. So the Transform, it kind of does the same thing, because if your body is constantly having to manage these spikes, it's working really hard. It starts to crave things like sugar and other foods. And then, if you eat from the time you get up at 7 o'clock in the morning till the time you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, you just imagine how much work that, your liver and all your organs are having to do to keep that regulation going on, especially if you're eating a fatty diet, or, you're eating a lot of sweets and maybe not having the healthiest diet out there. People are just absolutely astounded. It's curbing cravings. It's helping people lose weight. And it's really overall just making people feel so much better, because they're not constantly doing this crazy up and down. And they, as I say, it's plant-based enzymes. There is a product out there that people have been taking that does manage, blood sugar. But it's an injection, and I don't think they say it's natural, but I don't think it's that natural. And this product is very much all plant-based enzymes. And it says that, it targets the extra glucose and just supports, say, your blood sugar management. And they also use grains of paradise, which is a thermogenic that enhances the body's ability to regulate weight effectively, because it uses your fat resources as a source of energy. And as I say, people have just been going nuts for this product. And, I started taking it a couple of months ago. And, the funniest thing is, of course, they keep selling out. So it's if you can get your hands on it, you get a whole lot of it. So you've got to store it for a while, because, people start taking it and they love the effects. They love the way it makes them feel. And both my husband and I have been super, super impressed with what it's doing. And just, having the extra fiber. I'm not going to go into details about what that does for us, but it definitely makes things very nice and pleasant. Moving through. And just on that topic as well, they have another product, which is a pre and probiotic. And it's a digestive enzyme. They call it Enrich. And that's sort of one of the other things that I struggle with, digestive issues. I'm really FODMAP is my thing. I have gluten issues, but it's really just digesting different carbohydrates. And, I've been taking this Enrich, and I've been able to manage oats in a way that I wasn't able to do before. Corn doesn't bother me as much as it used to. If I end up having a bit of gluten, I really find that the Enrich helps everything move and digest in ways that it didn't before. And, even my husband last night, we were having dinner, and he's like, oh, it didn't sit so great. And he took a couple of Enrich, and within, 10 minutes, he was like, oh, I feel so much better. So the Enrich has really improved. And, I've been making these really nice lentil, they call them tofu bites. There's no tofu in them. You just make lentils and you cut them into cubes and you cook them like you would tofu. And with the FODMAPs, lentils are not something that digest well in my system. So when I have my lentil bites, I take the Enrich, and I find that the gassing and the bloating is like reduced by 90%. So I've kind of been doing some personal, because I really like them, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to stop taking them, but the effect isn't isn't that fun? And just, yeah, having that help with the digestion, along with the collagen to kind of help that gut. And then the transformers, sort of these three things are really helping me with the issues that I've been having over, my lifetime. But I started taking the Enrich at a time when I was like really struggling. And a lot of people with celiac and colitis and very serious digestive issues have found a lot of relief with that product as well. So those are kind of three. There's a couple of others for active people. They have a product called Optimize, which is a turmeric blend, and it has proleptic enzymes, and it's really good if you're going to the gym. It helps recover the muscles, and that's sort of the purpose they made it for, is to recover after a gym workout. But when I looked at the reviews, what I saw was people with crazy, like, I've had a swollen ankle, I don't know what's wrong with it, it's been like this for 2 years. I took the Optimize, and 48 hours later the swelling went down, and I was like, oh, I gotta try this, because I've got the shoulder issue that's stopping me from sleeping at night. And what I found was it really, over the time I was taking it, it allowed my it helps the tendons and the ligaments start to heal whilst dealing with the inflammation at the same time. And so I found that over a month of taking it, the pain went from like a 10 to a 2. And then I ran out, and it kind of slowly came back to a 5, but it's never gone back to that 10 pain again. And if it starts to kind of get a little bit sore, I'll start taking the Optimize again. And apparently, crazily enough, I was reading a review that if you take it at night, it actually helps break down fat and helps with weight loss, which is a complete crazy side effect that I'm not sure, if I hadn't been taking these products, I'm not sure how much weight I would have gained. I don't know if I'm the one that can tell you that I'm losing weight on all of these things, but I'm definitely not, I'm maintaining and I'm not gaining. So as I say, we have a group on Facebook that has all of these crazy reviews, and I go in there and I just get so excited about, all of these products. And then the last one, I could talk about these things forever. The last one I'll tell you about, though, is the Renew. And the Renew, I had no idea, but vitamin E, if you take liquid vitamin E, like in a capsule internally, it has amazing antioxidant protection, and it really helps with the cellular function. And it's, I brought this up so I could actually say it properly. I'm not going to pronounce it correctly, most likely, but it's vitamin E tocotrienols and guaranoguaranils, GG is what it actually is. And what they're finding with the tocotrienols is that it helps regulate our hormone functions. So for women that are not, like, they're premenopausal, so this is something that I would, if I had a teenage daughter, I would start her on it right now. It is so amazing for our PMS symptoms. I've been taking it, and the cramping disappeared, the grumpiness disappeared. It really helped with the sugar cravings, and like really, in 30 days, the amount of difference I found in my period that I had after starting to take it was like night and day. And even like my heavy bleeding kind of just dissipated a little bit as well. Like I didn't even notice. It was like, period came, and I was like, oh, hi. I didn't even know you were coming. And it was, and then I ran out. And I've noticed that even though I haven't had it for a while, I just got some more in. I did get some a while ago, and then I gave it to my girlfriend. But it's quite amazing how long it lasted after I ran out as well. Like my periods have only just started to be slowly coming back. But as I say, I haven't had the cramping that I used to get for months now, and it blew my mind. And then I was reading again my reviews. I've had quite a few people on there that have said, they've seen reversal in their menopause symptoms.
Yes, I was gonna go there.
Yeah, the hot flashes, and the moods, and all of that stuff that's super not fun. Like, people are finding that it's totally helping to regulate that and take it away. And again, I can't speak to that. And these are just sort of people that have had these experiences. with taking the vitamin E. And I was talking to a girlfriend the other day and I was like, have you tried like looking at liquid vitamin E? She's like, actually, my naturopath just put me on that. So this is something that we are starting to find that as women, if we take it, it's really going to help those hormone functions.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I said, I could talk forever. There's protein powder that brought back my belief in protein powders. I completely swore off them and started making my own from hemp seeds and flax seeds
Really?
and all of that stuff, because I was like, there's too much stuff in protein powders. And this protein powder Nourish, it's got like 5 ingredients. It is a pea protein blend. But if you get the brownie batter, there's a little bit of cocoa and some but like there's what is it? There is a sweetener, but it's like the last or second to last ingredient, and it's not pure sugar. So
So
and
that
it
that is
tastes really
that
good.
product is within the products that you're speaking of.
Yeah, the Nourish protein powder is, again, that's one of my absolute favorites. And then actually, I'll bring up one of them for the ingredients and let you know what's in there. But the other one that I was talking about the other day, when Pamela was like, Tash, I want to talk to you more, was the Mojo, and that's a coffee substitute. So if you're somebody that would like to have less coffee but doesn't want to not have that experience, they have a focus blend, so you can get it in Mojo, which is a hot chocolate or a Brazilian coffee flavor, and it's green bean extract with green tea extracts. They then have a whole bunch of, it's got niacin and vitamin B12 in there, and it just makes you happy. And it gives you focus, and it just allows you to get stuff done. There's 140 milligrams of caffeine, but it's derived from not the coffee bean, but as I say, the green bean. And they find that it's just a much cleaner. I know people that have been like, do not mess with my coffee. And then they try the Mojo, and it's like they have it in the morning. They don't need any more coffee the rest of the day. They're off, they're running, and it tastes really good. And I'm not someone who should have caffeine at all, to be honest. But I do go through times in my life where I need a little bit of focus, a little bit of a pick me up. And I find that it doesn't give me the jitters. It focuses me and allows me to show up happy and, on and focus on days when I might be a little bit tired and otherwise sleepy. And then the other thing with the Mojo, that again, my reviews, what they're saying is it really, really helps people with ADHD. So there's people that have given, they have a zest, which is like a fizz drink that you can take as well. And then they do have just a pill, which is a focus pill. It's the same ingredients, but it's not a drink. It's just a supplement you can take. And there's a lot of people that have actually started their kids on it and been able to take their kids off of ADHD medication. And that one like totally blew my mind when I looked at that.
Awesome. Is there anything for memory? I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and we were talking about our memory. It isn't what it used to be. And when you have a parent that is passed away from Alzheimer's or dementia, it is something that's first and foremost on your mind. Like, how do I keep my memory? Because a lot of medications that we take actually denigrate our memories. And so if there's anything, could you speak to that?
I can't, I can't speak to that intelligently at this point in time. I know that I did read recently that there were a couple of the products that people were finding were helpful, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I think the collagen does help with that, but
Yeah.
I honestly, I wouldn't, I don't feel like I can
Okay. No,
really
I love that. I love
speak
that
to that.
response because we don't need to know everything. And it
Right.
also helps us to begin to look, because I have a lot of people who are vegan. I try to actually, it was my daughter, and I want to tell people I can be in Costco and I tell them about this app that I use for everything. And if it isn't fun, it's called Yucca. YUKA. It's an app, and I scan everything from my hair care products to any kind of food. Now, vitamins, it doesn't do, but it does everything else. The things I thought were natural and good, they weren't. On a score of 1 to 100, I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought this was organic. Not. So when in doubt, I always leave it out. We won't buy it. So we'll try, they'll give you an alternative. So those are the things that people are looking for. And some people are just looking to move from sugar, all of the things that comes with it, are just trying to be healthy. And it is baby steps. And I love you started out talking about collagen, because my question with the collagen was, how soon should I be able to see a change? How do I see a change? How do I know it's working? You know, you said about the one lady, she got her eyebrows back. Can
And that
you?
was, yeah, that was within like 2 weeks. So they say you want to like 3 months, 2 to 3 months is really the time that you're going to start to notice difference. A lot of people, as I say, kind of notice difference within a couple of weeks. For me personally, it was very, very quick. But I would say you want to give it a good 2 to 3 months to really start to notice differences. But my skin, everything, like I looked in the mirror and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I think, oh, what was I going to say? Totally lost my train of thought. But yeah, it takes time to build up in our system, especially if you haven't had a lot of collagen. Oh, what I was going to say is that, you know, you talk to people and I've been taking a powdered collagen. I haven't noticed anything, and they've been taking it for years. And that is the one thing that it doesn't matter what brand people are taking. If they're taking a liquid collagen, most people can tell you that they've seen a difference very, very quickly. So again, I think it depends on your diet. It depends on what you're doing. But, you know, I'll just come back to the fact that I was blown away that I'd been taking a liquid collagen, loved it, had noticed great benefits from it. And it's still like 2 weeks later, I looked in the mirror and I was like, wow, like I look younger, my skin looks brighter. And yeah, my joints and all of that sort of stuff, I noticed very, very quickly when I started taking liquid collagen that things just didn't hurt the same as they did before. So, but I'll just say it one more time, 2 to 3 months, you want to give it some time to really take hold. And then if you want to see really quick results, you can collagen load. So you kind of double your dosage and do that for like a month. And I know people again who've gone on that experiment to see how that works for them, and they've just been absolutely astounded by what it's done for them. And while I was healing, I've got a broken wrist here, or hopefully a not so broken wrist. And when I did that, I doubled my collagen intake, and you know, I definitely noticed a lot of other differences and a lot of things that changed. And you know, I healed very quickly. From a bone that's literally the slowest healing bone in the body. And then the last little bit of healing has taken a little bit longer, but they were very impressed by how quickly the first lot of healing happened. So I'll check back with you on how I'm
Yeah,
doing after my x-ray, but
oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm really interested. I'm somebody who's listening. And can you tell us how to contact you? We'll put it in the show notes, but how do we contact you? I want to get that liquid collagen and I want it right away, because truthfully, I take a collagen, but I don't see any changes. I was like, you know, I'll grind it up in my smoothie, and it's like, it's got to go through your intestines and it's not going to get to the body. So I want to get it right now. How do I do that?
yeah, so as I said, we can pop this in the show notes, but the website link is trinont.com/Betty Flow. So BETTYFLOW. You can contact me. I'm Natasha Lockey on Facebook, so you can send me a messenger on Facebook, and I am Betty Gohard, which is BETTYGOHARD is my Instagram handle. So you can send me a message over there. I haven't been as active on Instagram the last little bit. but I definitely go in and I check my messages. So those are the best ways, or you can always send me an email, which is natasha@kootenaygateway.com. If you want to go, and then if you message me on Facebook, it's a really great way. Again, Natasha Lockey on Facebook. I'm super easy to find. Super happy picture of myself in a, I think in a bike helmet or looking like I'm on the beach. And I can actually, if you're wanting to know, like click into the reviews that I've been talking about, I can invite you into a group. It has like thousands and thousands of people, I think over 20,000 people in this group, and people go in there and talk about the results that they've had. So if you're wanting to dig in a little bit deeper and sort of find out what, you can just type in glow and hundreds of reviews come up. So if you're again wanting to know a little bit more or just wanting to see what people's experiences have been with the product, again, if you contact me on Facebook, I can link you into that group, and that'll give you a lot of information that you kind of can't get anywhere else. But yeah, trinont.com/Betty Flo will get you into my website, and that will allow you to go shopping and you can jump straight in. They have some really cool packages going on for Christmas. They have the Nourish protein powder. They have a birthday cake flavor, which personally sounds very sweet to me, but I think a lot of people love the birthday cake flavor. And they also have some really fun flavors for the Mojo. They had some gift packs, but apparently they sold out in days. And then the one thing I will say with the glow as well is sometimes it doesn't come as fast as you want it to come. And the reason for that is because if they test it and they have like a triple testing, and then if they get it to from where it's made to the warehouse and they test it again once they get it there, and they just had to throw out a huge batch of one of the I think it was the orange cream, because they just weren't happy with it, and there's no way they would rather the customers didn't get the product than to send them something that's not good enough. And it's the products, the ingredients that they use are all very, I'm gonna say new, but they're not old products. So it's like stuff has to get made and shipped, and so they don't have years of supply
sitting on the
sitting.
shelf forever. Yes.
Exactly.
And we don't want that. So yes.
No. And then the other cool thing about both the collagen and the pre and probiotics is they don't have to go into the fridge. So you actually don't have to refrigerate. A lot of liquid collagens need to be refrigerated. Excuse me. But the glow doesn't. And then the same with the pre and the probiotics. Most of the time they have to be in the fridge, which means I forget to take them. But these ones are stabilized. So you can like carry them in your purse wherever you go. Right before you have a meal, you can pop them in. So yeah, as I say, so sometimes like over Christmas, it will get busy, but yeah, pop on over there and check it out. Send me a message and I'm happy to help navigate that with you, place an order, do any of those things.
And everything she said will be in the notes. So we'll make sure that you have it, because it's really important, because here is an expert telling you about these products. And as women, we need all the help we can get. That's just me putting it as plain as simple, because we navigate so much. And so I always want to ensure that I bring somebody who is going to help change your life for the best. And I just have to thank Natasha. I mean, I am so incredibly inspired by you and what you have accomplished. And I hope, ensure that we will stay connected and have you come back. Because this is a whole process of mind, body, spirit, finance, you name it. Excuse me. And as women, we need all the help we can get to make our lives so much better. And I just thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. We just thank you, because you brought a lot of knowledge and understanding to maybe somebody, and definitely me. I want liquid collagen in our lives. So I just thank you for all that you do and all the lives that you change.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And just to kind of sum that up, women, men, doesn't matter who we are, but if we want to be able to go and do what we want to do in our lives, confidence comes from within, it comes from without. And if our bodies don't feel good, we're not working. If we've burnt ourselves out, if we don't have the support, and let's just be straight up honest. We want to feel good when we look in the mirror. We want to feel good when we stand on the scales, when we put our clothes on. All of these things affect our confidence. So I will agree with you. Every little bit of help that we can get, I think is absolutely, I'll take it. I'm 100% with you, because, we navigate busy lives, and if we don't support ourselves in every single way possible, then it's harder, and we end up in the weeds faster, and it's harder to get back out of them.
I love you. I love that. That is analogy. There's nothing else for me to say on that. We just thank you. You are incredible guest, and thank you for all your wisdom and discernment in this. So just have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day, everyone. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you, Natasha, so much.
Thank you.